repeat this process over and over and over. But what you really want to do is you want to go as fast as you can without a capacitor, for the simple fact is you want to put a lot of this radiant energy to the source.
Mike dust cracks the code tonight. Oh yeah, that's true. Wires and circuits that shine in neon lights. Oh yes, he knew. Creating power from the air, he smiled delights. Oh yeah. Mike does it right. Hey. Mike does, oh Mike, he's the one. Teaching us knowledge, lighting the sun. Company's legacy alive. His hands, Mike just knows we're his biggest fans. Down in the basement, secrets start to glow. Oh yeah, white clean blue, not there to shop from brilliantine, not forbidden there. Spread any knowledge flow. Yeah, energy streams. Mike does, oh Mike, he's the one. Us knowledge, shining the sun. Properties, legacy alive. His hands. Mike just knows we're his biggest fans. Years of thoughts, bringing dreams to life, turning theories into electric light. Mike and us, a journey to ignite. Oh yeah, we can reach new heights. Mike does, oh Mike, he's the one. Teaching us knowledge, lighting the sun. Properties, legacy alive. His hands. Mike just knows we're his biggest fans.
Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Do it.
Who is doing it?
Do it.
Do it.
All of it.
Do it.
Come on. Do it now.
You got two ways to do this. You can build it up in a capacitor, catch it, discharge it into the battery, and then you want to repeat this process over and over and over. But what you really want to do is you want to go as fast as you can without a capacitor, for the simple fact is you want to put a lot of this radiant energy to the source.
No wonder. Okay, so Ohm's law and superconductors. Unfortunately, or fortunately, superconductors have, technically they're supposed to have zero resistance, or close to it. But in a calculator, you can't divide by zero, so. Let's see here. Let's say you got a 100 volts constant current. And you're sending it through a superconductor with 0.000001 ohms. Okay, so you divide your 100 volts by that decimal number there to get your current capacity across that superconductor. So 100 divided by 0.000001 ohms equals 100 million amps. Now let me just write that down. You guys are gonna like this. Sorry, 100 million amps can flow across this superconductor using 100 volts and 0.000001 ohms of resistance on that superconductor. Okay, so let me just do that. Put that aside. And merge down. Okay. All right, so here's your Ohm's law. Let me draw that a little bigger because I need to add arrows. It's your Ohm's wheel, they call it. Very easy to remember this. V over I times R. I is your current, R is your resistance, V is your volts. So when your volts goes up, your current goes down, and your resistance goes up. And when the volts goes down, damn it, I need to do this again. Hold on. Let me try this another way. Okay, so there's your via Ohm's wheel, and when when the voltage goes up, current goes down. Resistance goes up, and when the voltage goes down, I just did this wrong again. Up, resistance goes up. So I put the arrow down here. Let me try a different color for the arrows. When the voltage goes up, the current goes down, and the resistance goes up. And when the voltage goes down, current goes up, resistance goes down. Now, the easy way to understand this, give me 1 second. Yeah, okay. The easy way to understand this, right about now, you're asking, same question I asked. How does the resistance go down when the current goes up? How is that possible? That doesn't make sense. Well, it does when you think of it this way. Why does the resistance go down when the current goes up? Because when your current increases across the inductor, the ions in the material begin to subside to the force of that's pushing the current through. In other words, the coil begins to allow the current to flow now, and it does that by lowering its resistance. And why does the coil why does its resistance lower? Because as time is moving forward, more and more of those ions in the copper material are being aligned in the correct alignment with each other. And as more and more ions get aligned, the resistance goes down. But that takes time, and there's a finite level of how far down the coil will lower its resistance, or how many ions you are able to align with each other. There's always going to be some ions that will not align. They'll refuse to align up. Now, that's not the case in the superconductor, though. They will all align in theory. I don't think we have superconductors that align every single ion in the material as the theory says that it should, that defines what a superconductor is. But we have materials that are close to what a superconductor is. So maybe 0.000001 ohms on it instead of 0. If it were 0, you'd have a lot more than 100 million amps capacity on that conductor. Now, that's fine. Your conductor can have that capacity to transfer that much amps. Now, let me get to this drone subject and why I think this is relevant, and it just occurred to me actually, why people's drones are powering down or losing power when they come close to a whatever it is they're seeing up there, orbs, whatever, UFOs, because these craft are powered by superconductors. That's why. anything that has energy in it that comes close to a superconductor, that energy is going to want to go through that superconductor, straight out of your battery, through the air, into that superconductor. It's going to want to go there because it's a superconductor, and it's the only superconductor within range. If you get even close enough, if you just be within range of a superconductor, your batteries are going to drain. So if you put a battery to a superconductor, let's say this is your superconductor here, a straight piece of superconducting sub-zero tungsten gold alloy or whatever, and you have a battery sending its amps through it at 12 volts, but the battery has 1 amp in it. Okay, although this superconductor can handle 100 million amps, it's not going to have those amps when you connect this battery. It's just going to be 1 amp going through that superconductor. And when you send the full amp from your battery, and it does transmit through the superconductor by however means, wireless or whatever, which can be done through potential, I guess, fields and poles or whatever, magnetic. If these crafts are powered by superconductors, they're going to have a strong field, and if they got energy going through them, through the superconductor, like this battery is sending its plus, to minus, that's going to create a magnetic field, that energy flow through the superconductor. And that magnetic field is going to extend pretty far. And anything that gets within range, let's say you're a drone that you're trying to get a snapshot of this thing, your drone battery is going to fall down because it has no power, because it came too close to this field, the field. And that's all you need to do is get within range of the field emanated by the superconductor for your energy, whatever your energy you have, that you put inside the field, will drain through the superconductor because it's a superconductor. It's the path of least resistance. The actual circuitry of your drone has more resistance than the field it entered. That's how I can put it, so the energy is going to drain out of your drone and fall. But that's off topic, sort of, still on topic, because this is about superconductors. I just think that these crafts that's how they drain power from your devices when you get too close. They have superconductors in them. Anyway, Ohm's law, and now you have a superconductor. Does Ohm's law apply? No, because technically a superconductor has zero resistance. And if you try to divide anything by zero, you will get an error saying you cannot do that. Because you can't. So Ohm's law does not apply to a superconductor. It applies to things with resistance, because one of the variables in this formula is resistance. And a superconductor technically doesn't have that. So that's just a quick rant on Ohm's law and and superconductors. What I think, coming back to the lake and the tilting of the lake and creating your voltage by tilting the lake, and now whatever water's in that lake is your amps, can now flow like a current because it's tilted with voltage degrees, and now the lake its current is not static anymore. It's dynamic. When it comes to a superconductor, you don't really need much volts to get your energy through. In my opinion, I think a superconductor, you don't need a lot of pressure to send energy through it. And if you did have a lot of voltage to send energy through a superconductor, you can just imagine the kinds of things that would occur regarding phenomenon or whatever, electrical phenomenon. And yeah, experiments we need to do with superconductors. Technically speaking, the superconductor does the same thing that Leeds-Gallman perpetual magnet holder does, PMH, which I find is amazing too. You just wrap a coil around it and give it a quick pulse of charge from the 9-volt battery. And this is a piece of metal here, and this is a piece of metal. And when you give it the charge, the plate here at the bottom sticks to the U piece. By perpetual magnetism, you remove the charge and it stays stuck. When you remove the plate, it's gone. The energy is gone. Whatever's going on there, it's a proof positive concept demonstrated many times in this PMH device that you can perpetually cycle or hold a magnetic field perpetually in a loop. So if you took this superconductor and you looped it, two pieces of superconductor, one straight, one curved, and you wrapped the coil around it and did the same thing, you would have the full amount of whatever that pulse was perpetually flowing now, because it's a superconductor. So in the bottom example, it's not a superconductor. The top example, it is a superconductor. You have a whole different scenario here now. You pulsed it, the bottom one, with 10 volts, 1 amp, or 1 milliamp, or let's say, 10 volts, 100, let's say 10 volts, 200 milliamps, is what you were able to get through the coil. So if the coil on the top is the same coil on the bottom, you're not going to have any difference going on here. So the coil on the top has to also be a superconductor. And so the battery that pulsed the coil is a 10-volt battery, but it has 10 amps in it. But because the coil has some resistance, you only got 200 milliamps of that 10 amps through the coil. The rest of the amps stayed in the battery. But if it's a superconductor coil wrapped around a superconductor piece of metal, and you energize a superconducting coil with a 10-volt, 10-amp battery, the full 10 amps is going to go through that superconducting coil and send a magnetic field through the superconducting U piece, which will permanently cycle through the straight piece Doesn't have to be you and straight. You can do this with a toroidal superconducting core as well. But as soon as you send the 10 volts from a 10 amp source battery through a superconducting coil, the full 10 amps and 10 volts is going to get through there, and it's going to perpetually cycle through this superconducting PMH. What is 10 divided by 0.000001 ohms? It is 10 million amps. So if you multiply 10 million times your volts, which is 10, you get 100 million watt. Perpetually flowing. Okay, I've said enough.